Hey guys, welcome back to Fire Team Base. This is Reaper, and I'm back with Bees. And today we're talking NFL Week 9 Pick'em. Bees, what's going on tonight, man?
What up, Reeps? Oh, not too much, man. I'm just excited for this week. The matchups look pretty straightforward for the most part, so I can't wait to get it cracking.
Okay, just going into a quick review of last week. Bees finished 9-4 to bring his season total up to 20-8. Reap was also 9-4, bringing his season total to 18-10. And our guest last week was 11-2, bringing our guest total to 20-8, tied for first place with Bees. Bees, how you feeling about that?
I'm feeling all right. Pax had some pretty good picks last week. Didn't really go too bad with risks taken. It was pretty much straightforward, so um, that's pretty good. And I can't wait to see what our guest tonight is gonna do. Knife to meet you three. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. I'm really looking forward to taking the top spot this week.
Yeah, we'll have fun waving down to Reeps at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh, that shit's gonna change this week. Don't you worry about Reeves. He's planning to come back as we speak.
Uh-oh.
All right, with that, I guess we'll get into it. So, starting out, we've got our Thursday night game, Bills at Jets. Bees, start us off.
Alrighty, AFC matchup should be pretty straightforward to me. Bills are proving to have a high-powered offense, and now with the addition of Kelvin Benjamin, should be a little better. I'll take the Bills here, 31 to the Jets, 17.
I'm going to agree with that. I think the Bills are going to have a great defense again this week. I think they're going to pretty much stump the Jets' offense. And even though I don't think Kelvin Benjamin's going to really be much of a factor in today's game, I think that the Bills will still have enough on offense to get the job done against what, frankly, has been a Jets team playing over their head. I think the Bills win 28-17.
I'm going to disagree with both of you guys. I think that the Jets are criminally underrated, and I think that the Bills' defense is going to do well, but not quite enough to win it for them. I have the Jets winning this one 20-14.
Okay, picking the Jets.
I'm a
With that, we'll
clown.
move on to our 1 o'clock games. We have an NFC South matchup, Falcons at Panthers.
Whew. This wasn't going to be a big, important matchup. I don't know what else would. Both teams are struggling. Well, they're not struggling, but, they're trying to keep pace with the Saints. We will see who outlasts the other, but without Kelvin Benjamin now, I think the Panthers a little weaker. I got the Falcons here 24-16.
I'm going to go the opposite direction, actually. I think I'm going to go Panthers over the Falcons. I think the Panthers defense is going to flummox what has already been a struggling Falcons offense. I think pretty much everyone under Steve Sarkisian has struggled despite the amount of star power that they have. And I really think the Panthers are going to be able to eke this one out. I'm going to say 20-14.
All right, I'm going to agree with Reeps on this one. I think that has had real trouble finishing games ever since last season with the Super Bowl loss. And for that reason, I think Carolina's going to come back from behind and win it with a 2-minute drive, 34-31.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Agreeing with Reeves. Imagine that. All right, moving on. We've got Colts at Texans.
Wow! Deshaun Watson lit up that Seattle Seahawks defense last week. Even though he had 2 interceptions, I was still impressed. If Richard Sherman's impressed, you know, that's a hard thing to it's a hard man's respect to gain. Don't you ever talk about me. I'm gonna take the Texans here at home against the Colts after that loss. I'm gonna take them here big 37-21.
I think the only thing I can do is agree with you. I think the Texans are pretty much going to steamroll the Colts. I think Texans are going to get out way in front, and then you'll see the Colts get a couple late time garbage scores. I think the Texans are going to win this one easily, 42-22.
I'm going to agree with you guys here. There isn't really a whole lot of evidence saying that Indianapolis is going to win this one. And I'm going to stick with that. Houston just has too much on offense for the Colts defense to handle. And while Jacoby Brissett has done a decent job, he won't do enough to keep up with Deshaun Watson. So this will be an easy win for the Texans, 35-17.
All right, moving forward, we have another AFC matchup. We have Bengals at Jags.
I'm going to take the Jaguars here, plain and simple. They just seem to be the better team. The Bengals really aren't clicking at all on offense or defense. Jaguars 26, Bengals 16.
I'm also going Jaguars. I think that defense may be the best in the league, and I think Andy Dalton is going to turn the ball over at least 3 times against them. I think the Jags are going to win this one relatively handily, but not ever getting too far out in front. I'm going to say Jags 28, Bengals 13.
I'm going to agree with you guys, but this is going to be a lot closer game than both of you guys are anticipating. Joe Mixon, I believe, is going to have a big game in this one. But at the end of the game, it'll be out of his hands, and for that reason, they will lose. Jacksonville will go out on top 24-20.
All right, returning back to the NFC South, we have Bucks at Saints.
Who dat? Who dat? Who that they're going to beat them Saints? Certainly ain't going to be the Buccaneers. I got the Saints here 33-13. The Buccaneers are just terrible. I had high expectations for them. I can't say it enough. Jameis Winston is letting this team down. I know their defense is pretty garbage, but man, Jameis, you got all those weapons and you can't do that? Come on, man. I don't know what else to even say.
I'm also going Saints with the Buccaneers being weak on both lines, weak all around on defense, and an injured Jameis Winston. I just don't see any way that they pull this one out. I think the Saints are going to be able to have their way with them pretty much through the air, ground, or however they choose. And I'm going to say the Saints win this one 35-13.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you both. This game is not going to be that close. The Saints defense has shown that it's a lot tougher than really anyone could have anticipated at the beginning of the season. While Tampa Bay has been softer than what most really expected. So this one will be pretty easy. Saints 38, Tampa Bay 20.
All right, and moving forward, we have another lopsided game, Rams at Giants.
Ooh, all right. Rams, they're powerhouse in it in the AFC West this year. I got them winning this game in New York, 22-13. It'll be a little bit more of a closer game than everyone expects, but I would look for Todd Gurley to have a pretty big game, so I'll take the Rams.
The Giants are pretty much inept on offense, not really having any weapons left healthy except maybe Sterling Shepard. I don't really see them taking a team without Janoris Jenkins, who's now suspended by the team, and beating a hot team like the Rams. I think the Rams are going to win this one relatively easily as well. I'm going to say 38-20.
What a pathetic team. I honestly had them going and winning the NFC East at the beginning of the season. Boy, have they proved me wrong. The Rams, I can't say enough about them. They've done well on offense, and they've done enough on defense to win games for them. And for that reason, I'll take the Rams 30-17.
All right, and moving on, we have an actually good matchup to talk about here. We have Broncos at Eagles.
As much as I feel that the Broncos, are a better team than what they are, they got Brock Osweiler starting this week. Eagles are at home. That high-powered offense led by Carson Wentz has been steamrolling. I'll take the Eagles here, 27-17 against the Broncos.
I'm also going Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to do well against a team like Denver. It may be a lower scoring affair than we think, just with 2 good defenses out there, but I believe that as long as the Broncos keep changing up their running backs and not letting anyone get in a rhythm, that they're not going to have the kind of success they want. I think the Eagles win 24-12.
Not so fast, you two. I think that Denver's offense will actually pick it up this week with Brock Osweiler not giving away the game, much like Trevor Simeon does. But I think C.J. Anderson will be the difference in this one. He'll find his rhythm this week and will stun the red hot Eagles 20-13.
And moving back to our last 1 o'clock matchup, we have a dirty matchup between the Ravens and the Titans in Nashville.
Oh, the Dirty Birds against the dirty ass Titans. No, I'm just joking. I got the Titans here winning a pretty close battle. It will be close in the beginning, but they'll start to pull away. The Ravens are going to have Mallet out there. I really don't think Joe Flacco is going to be able to play in this game, even though he's listed as questionable. But who knows? Maybe that hit knocked some quarterbacking into him. But I'm still going to take the Titans here, 31-17.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I think the Ravens, coming off a huge Thursday night performance, are basically coming off what would be a bye week with the 11 days rest they get in between games. And them putting up 40 points against the Dolphins will encourage them to beat a Titans team that barely eked it out against the Browns in overtime before they left. The Browns are still a little injured, or the Titans are still a little injured as well. So I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Ravens. I think the Ravens win this one 19-13.
I'm going to agree with Bees on this one. I think that the Titans' offense has been mostly anemic this season, but they will find their a little bit of rhythm here against a tough Ravens defense. It won't show on the scoreboard, but they'll move it from the 20 to the 20, and will kick more field goals than Justin Tucker. So, with that being said, I see the Titans winning 23 to 17.
Moving out to the West Coast for our first 4 o'clock game, we have Cardinals at 49ers. Bees.
Looks like the 49ers finally struck gold with the quarterback since Colin Kaepernick had that miracle year back in 2012. But I really don't anticipate Garoppolo playing, but I do anticipate the 49ers getting their first win of the season here in Week 9 against the Arizona Cardinals. I really don't see the Cardinals having too much of an offensive passing game. They might be able to run the ball with Adrian Peterson a little bit, but I still have them losing. So the 49ers will win this game 24-13.
I'm going to go the opposite way. I think the Cardinals are going to escape in what turns out to be a really ugly game. I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit on the ground with AP, but I think their defense is going to be the key factor in this game. I bet you it's probably going to be C.J. Beathard playing for at least one more week, and I don't believe that he is going to have what it takes to lead the 49ers to a win. I think the Cardinals win 18-9.
I'm going to agree with Reeves here. He hit the hammer right on the head. CJ Beathard really hasn't shown any confidence, and the O line has shown to not be very good, and that will continue this week as Drew Stanton will do just enough to win it for the Cardinals 20-9.
Okay, perfect. Moving on to an actually interesting game. We have Redskins at Seahawks.
Ooh, this is going to be one of those good games, man. But I don't think Kirk Cousins has it in him. I'm going to take the Seahawks at home where they're tough to beat, and Russell Wilson always seems to find a miracle drive at the end of the game to win it. Seahawks 27, Redskins 21.
I'm also going Seahawks. You don't usually get to pick them against them at home, and I believe that the Redskins, having come off a loss to the Cowboys here recently, aren't going to have enough to really step up and beat a team that seems to be starting to find itself under Russell Wilson. I think the Seahawks win 31-21.
The interesting thing about the Redskins is they only have 2 healthy safeties right now. So Russell Wilson's going to have an air show against them. Watch for this to not even be close, as Seattle's defense will make Kirk Cousins make mistakes since he'll be behind most of the game. And I see this being around 38-10 in favor of the Seahawks.
Moving on to a game that has a lot of us interested and might be one of the best ones this week. We have Chiefs at Cowboys.
Chiefs are playing in a dome where they're very comfortable. Cowboys just lost Ezekiel Elliott. Well, we hope so. I mean, this is going to be only the third freaking time that they suspended him this season. I really don't have too much to say about his whole situation. He was just an idiot for even putting himself there. But, when people get money, they do stupid things. So I'd say the Chiefs here, 31 to the Cowboys, 24.
I'm also going to go Chiefs. I think they're going to have a field day against a Cowboys defense that isn't as good as they appeared to be last week. I think the Chiefs are basically going to be able to have their way with them through the air and ground, just like I said before. And I believe their defense shouldn't have too much trouble shutting down a Zekeless Cowboys. I think the Chiefs win this one 35-24.
I'm going to disagree with both of you guys. I think this KC defense is a bit overrated, and I think even Darren McFadden or Alfred Morris, whoever they prefer, will run all over this defense. And Dak will lead a game-winning drive in what turns out to be a barn burner, but Dallas will win this one 38-35.
All right, moving into our Sunday night matchup, we have a game that might just be played for the fantasy implications. Raiders at Dolphins.
A tale of two shits, as I like to call this game, because no one gives any. I'm going to just take the Raiders here. I don't know, 32 to the Dolphins, 19.
I'm also going to take the Raiders simply because somebody's going to have to win this game. I think the Raiders are going to win simply because they have a little bit more going for them on offense. And the Dolphins, having just traded their best offensive weapon for a song to Philadelphia, aren't really going to be able to do too much against even a weak Raiders secondary. I'm going to take Raiders 22 versus the Dolphins 14.
I'm going to agree with both of you guys here. The Dolphins' offense is shown to be probably top 5 worst offenses in the league this year. And the Raiders' offense will do just enough against the Miami defense to the point where it'll look like it won't be even that close. But it'll be well fought by the Dolphins. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say Oakland 28, Miami 13.
All right, and moving on to our Monday night matchup, we have Lions at Packers.
Oh my. Well, it's at Lambeau Field. The refs love to throw that little yellow thingy they have in their pockets in favor of the Packers there. But you also got to give credit to Pat McCarthy. He's always pretty well prepared. Aaron Rodgers is still hurt. He's out for the season, obviously. And I do think they're going to squeeze this one out against the Lions. Look for the Lions to go on a game-winning drive and have about 3 penalties on holdings and phantom pass interferences on the offense. I'm going to take the Packers here, 18-13.
I'm going to have to go the opposite direction. I think the Lions with Matt Stafford are going to be too much for a Brent Hundley-led Packers. Unless the Packers can get something going on the ground, I don't foresee them having too much offense at all. I think the Lions win this one relatively comfortably, 28-12.
The Lions will key in on the Green Bay running game in this game, and there isn't any real reason to believe that Hundley's going to win it for them. And so, for that reason, I'm going to go with the Lions in this one, 20-6.
All right, guys, that does it for our picks. Let us know down in the comments below who you think is going to win this week, and let's see how you do against us.
And make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channels to stay up to date with all tech unboxings, video game reviews, NFL Pick-Ums, and also Walking Dead episode reviews. And one more time, we want to thank Knife to Meet You for stopping by and being our guest. Thanks a lot, bud.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to taking first place.
And that actually reminds me, Reeves, we wanted to tell everyone that our best guest will be invited back come playoffs to discuss playoff matchups and pick winners. So
it'll be almost a tournament of champions, if you will, not to steal anything from Alex Trebek and Jeopardy, but we're going to have our best results guests appear for playoff time, see if they can best us in some playoff action.
I got a feeling Knife to Meet You is going to be having a lot of this going on.
Oh, no, he'll do well because he agreed with Reap a lot.
And then on the ones that he didn't agree with Reap on, he agreed with Bees, so it's a win-win situation.
Someone's got to be wrong. All right, guys. For Fire Team Base, I'm Reaper.
And this is Bees. Bees out, slagga.
Keep reaping, guys.